Esther had a sort of startling revelation not very long ago where she was grouchy about something that had happened, and the more she thought about it, the grouchier she was. And then other thoughts off the subject, but same sort of vibrational core, began coming into her mind. She began remembering everything like that that had ever happened to her. So she was building a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger case about it. And then it was like the whole world. It was like a conspiracy to make her life miserable. And it had all started with just one little thing that she sat and just mulled over, mused over, moaned over, complained over for not that long. So then she decided, well, if there's anyone on the planet who should clean up their act, it ought to be me. So she isolated herself away from all of those who were glad to see her go. She'd been riding around on her broom all morning. And she went to clear her mind, to meditate, to find relief from the self-imposed tension that had started with her knee-jerk reaction to an uncontrollable circumstance. Trying to control the uncontrollable will get you every time, won't it? So she sat to meditate, and she reached for a thought that often gives her a feeling of ease and comfort right away. She thought about ease and flow. She just focused upon the words ease and flow. But you got to understand, she had a pretty good current going over here. She'd been on it for a while, quite a while, well over an hour. So her attempt to find ease and flow, she held it for a moment, and then right back there she'd go. And then right in the middle of her meditation, she would realize, I'm complaining in the middle of meditation. What's up with that? So then she reached back for ease and flow. She reached back and just for a moment caught a little tail of it, and then before she knew it, she was complaining in her mind again. So now she's extra mad at herself, which always helps a great deal. So now she's thinking, I certainly can find the thought of ease and flow. And she thought about being out on the highways. She loves that. She loves getting behind the wheel of just about any vehicle. They move around in a monster bus. And she thought about the feeling of elation that she often feels as she moves down these wonderful highways with so much beauty surrounding her. And she caught hold of the feeling of ease and flow. And then she milked it. She stayed there just a little bit and thought about why it feels so good, and for a moment loved the landscape and loved the highways and loved her vehicle and loved her life. And she managed to focus enough that she found the dominant resonance with who she is. And then an amazing thing happened. While it had been hard for her to find it at first, now an avalanche of pleasing, wonderful thoughts began to flood her mind. No effort at all. In fact, it would have been harder for her to get back where she started now that she had clicked in to the vibration of who she really is. And then she sat with the most rapturous goosebumps moving through her body as she reunited and felt the relief of moving from outside the vortex in, and then reveling in the raising and the raising and the raising of vibration. And we said to her, now that she was there and now that she could hear us, we said, Esther, milk this. Practice this vibration of being in the vortex. Practice this vibration of being in the vortex. Make this your dominant vibration. Practice this vibration. This is who you are. This is how you are to feel. This is who you be. This is home for you. This is life for you. This is where you belong. And she sat there radiant, glowing to the universe. And then we said, now reach back to that problem and bring it in here with you and have a look at it from in here. And Esther said, don't make me do it. The bliss inside the vortex is so sublime. Won't I run the risk of the vortex spitting me out? We said, of course you'll run the risk of the vortex spitting you out, but so what? You know how to get back in. You got to be out there where things are happening in order to know what you want. Of course, there's no risk. Just bring it in and have a look at it. So she brought it in, thought about it, chewed on it for a minute. The vortex spit her right out. It was still in that raw and ragged place, and her attention to it caused her to not be able to stay in alignment with who she was. But the next time, still sitting there, that she went to get in the vortex, she went right in. In other words, she just ignored it for a moment, thought about ease and flow, remembered how good she'd been feeling just a moment ago, went right back in, and we said, now, go get it again. So Esther brought the subject into her mind, but it had shifted. She began to feel different. We said, Esther, make peace with the rascals, make peace with the problems, because the whole time they're coming into focus, the solution is too. You can't be all that you feel over here in this wondrous vortex of creation if it weren't for the other side of that giving you reason to bring that into focus. Are you getting this? Do you see how the life you live brings your expansion into focus? And the only reason when we say, are you appreciating the contrast of your time and place, that any of you would say, no, not really, is when you're standing outside the vortex. We're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. It is our desire to convey to you the value of who you are. We want to lure you into the vortex. There is nothing that is off limits. Anything that you want to talk about, we are eager to address with you. You will notice a perfect unfolding here today, because after all, this gathering has vibrationally already assembled in this vortex of creation before you dragged your physical bodies into this theater. What do you want to talk about? You are ready. Some things. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful day. Begin right here. Stand if you think it's you. You are the one.
Hi. Oh man, I'm so glad to be here. I have so many questions, unlimited. Every time I hear an answer, I'm just like, but what about...
We have one answer. Go to the vortex. Go to the vortex. Go to the... Hardly worth $195, was it?
That's very entertaining. In between this time I've had the privilege to speak with you and the last time, which was in September of 2009, somehow or another, doesn't matter how, but I managed to activate a vibration of something I really didn't want. And it was enormous. And I was like, well, is this the time I should stick my head in the sand and not look around? Because it really feels like that would be a good idea. And I'd be like driving to work and I go, well, there goes some evidence. It was just very, very difficult. And I kept making very powerful demands, to the universe, and just reminding myself, all is well. I know the universe knows what I want. It has it figured out way better than I could even possibly imagine. And all of a sudden, everything would be like, oh, that's pretty. I like that. And I wouldn't see that enormous unwanted contrast. And then it would return, and then it would kind of fade away, and then just I would do like some vibrational work, whatever you want to call it, play. And I would raise up and then kind of plateau and then dip down, and then I couldn't really go from despair or powerlessness past frustration. I would just stay in that little bank of thoughts. I couldn't get access to the next bank of thoughts. And I know that's all a frequency thing, and I don't know, and sometimes I just see like tremendous results. I just see the contrast is gone. And then another day could be the very next day, be right back to full bore, holy smokes.
Well, here's the thing. It's getting better already.
That was
funny. So here's the thing. So let's just accept that through life experience that you and everyone else have been sort of sloppily vibrating all over the place. So you have many points of attraction that please you and many points of attraction that don't please you, but no real discipline in the way you offer vibration, because you haven't really known about it. You haven't really been putting it together that your emotions are telling you, and you haven't been aware of this consistent source energy that you can always measure accurately against. You've been measuring against how that one responds and how that one responds and how that one responds, and they're all fickle and they want different things and they're all selfishly motivated, and so you're upside down and all around through life as you're trying to please this one and this one and this one. But now you're aware of this consistent vibration of this source within you, and now you've got your feeling, your finger on the pulse of whether you're in alignment or whether you're not, and you're discovering in this new awareness that you've got a lot of active vibrations that don't resonate with who you really are. But through this process, even though you're not hitting a home run every single time and finding alignment, you are consciously, we love what we are hearing from you, recognizing that you know when you're in alignment and you know when you're not, and you're feeling frustration that you're not able to control it better. But the first and most important step is already taken place within you. You can feel the difference. You know when you're in alignment and you know when you're not. Now, this seminar today, the reason that we're directing it in the way that we are is because you're not the only one that's feeling this way. We're wanting to help you to shift into this awareness that once you have conscious knowledge of this vortex, and once you have conscious recognition of your proximity to it, now don't struggle in the thoughts that are holding you out, or don't struggle in the life experience that's not giving you all of the things that you want. This is the time to relax and let go, because your knowledge of what's really going on in the vortex and your willingness to release any thought that feels awful is the answer. You see, most people think that the answer is take that negative situation and solve it. Take that negative problem and solve it. Take that negative thought and turn it into a positive thought. That's sort of the trend that most people are thinking. And what we're wanting to say in such an emphatic way that we want to shout it is that that doesn't work. The more you try, the more counterproductive it is. That's why it just got worse and worse and bigger till it felt like it was everywhere. The answer is to let go and trust the process. Trust the vortex. Trust your well-being. Trust in the goodness of what you've put there. Trust in the goodness of who you are. Do anything and everything you can to get that negative thought out of your mind. Distract. And then watch the power of the vortex demonstrate to you quickly the new ease that you found. It will. It is our promise to you. It will. You cannot have the intensity that we feel within you without putting all kinds of power into your vortex. Coupled with your understanding that your emotions are letting you know when you're off. Now, if you can just hear, this is the piece that we're giving to you. When you feel that way, don't try. Don't try to fix it. That's not the time to fix it. That's the last time to fix it. It's the worst time to fix it. When you feel like that, don't try to fix it. That's the time to say, I'm not going to fix it. This is not the time. This is not the time. I'm going to go to the vortex and then. I'm going to go to the vortex and then. And if you can't figure out how to get to the vortex and you wouldn't be able to then just say, and I'll get in the vortex when I get in the vortex. In other words, it's really the I give up feeling that we want you to offer there. No more struggle. No more struggle, because first, I don't have to struggle to succeed. I can't struggle and succeed. I don't have to try in order to accomplish. I've already accomplished. My work is done. Now it's time for me to claim the benefit of it. I'm going to chill. I'm going to let the universe show to me. I'm going to let the universe prove to me how good I am.
Yeah. I have two more very quick questions.
We're going to take a segment of refreshment.
Okay.
Good time for it. And when we return, we may call you back. Good time for it.
Thank you very much.